All right, welcome to the third episode of Cupful of Metal. Today I'm going to be talking about bands and albums that I feel don't get quite the attention that they deserve in the world of music. So here we go. So I'm going to start off by talking about rockradio.com. It's a music streaming app. It's free, or you can pay a small price and have the premium, which is the commercial free. It's geared towards people with music tastes like me, who like heavy metal, hard rock. They also have acoustic rock, grunge. I don't think they have country on there, but it's a great free streaming app, and the premium is not too expensive. I think it's around $7 a month. If you like heavy music and varieties of heavy metal like I do, I recommend trying out rockradio.com. If you search for them by the name rockradio.com on iOS or on Android in your search bar, then you will find them. It's a real nice free service, and it'll give you a nice variety. So I discovered this first band on the thrash station on rockradio.com. They're a band called Witchery, and the album that I love the most by them is called Witchkrieg. The title track off of Witchkrieg, is a great song. It's probably the best one on there. It's the first song that I heard by them. Recommend giving them a listen. They're from Europe. If thrash metal and death metal were to have a baby, that would be Witchery. Give them a listen to. You definitely will not be disappointed if you're into that kind of music like I am. All right, just from looking at this cool cover, it makes me want to listen to it. It's Witchery's album, Witchkrieg, which is my favorite. It's probably their best by far. It draws me in. I recommend you listen to it. It's a great sound. It's probably one of the better metal albums I've listened to in the past 10 years. All right, so this next band I'm going to talk about is Chimaira. Chimaira was popular from around 2000 to roughly 2012. They're part of the new wave of American heavy metal, the same genre that spawned Lamb of God. And by the way, if you haven't checked out Lamb of God's new self-titled album, you really need to. It's great. It's probably their best album in years. But I digress. Back to Chimaira. Chimaira is from Ohio. They're from Cleveland, which I'm from Cincinnati. And so if you flush the toilet in Cincinnati, Cleveland's where it goes. But that doesn't count for Chimaira. Chimaira is great. They have a good speed of thrash, the deep heaviness of thrash, everything I love about thrash, but it's taken a step further. And that's why it was in the new wave of American heavy metal. Their album, The Impossibility of Reason, is by far their best album. Give it a try, give it a listen. If you know of Chimaira, then maybe this is a reminder to go back and check them out again. I recommend listening to that album. Everything after Impossibility of Reason is beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It's a great album. All their albums are great. They're technically sound. Some of them are just a little harder to swallow than other ones. So give Chimaira a listen. This is Chimaira. They're not going to win any beauty contest, but they're great at playing heavy metal. I'm sad that they've broken up, but they left behind a great catalog. If you like that heavy thrashness of Lamb of God, give Chimaira a listen. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. All right, next band I'm going to talk about is Cancer Bats. Cancer Bats are classified as a Southern metal band. I don't know what goes into making someone labeled Southern metal, but I really like Cancer Bats. They have a fast, heavy sound. They also have some slow movers as well. They're a really good band. I'm pretty sure they're from Georgia, but I'm not 100% positive. I probably should have done my research before I made this video, right? But I digress. Give Cancer Bats a listen to. The album Hail Destroyer, which has my two favorite songs, Lucifer's Rocking Chair and the song Hail Destroyer, make for a great listen. If you want something different, give this album a listen. All right, just like Chimaira, Cancer Bats aren't going to win any beauty contests, but they'll knock your socks off with their brand of heavy metal. Give them a listen. They're fast and they're good. Okay, so the first heavy metal band that I ever listened to was Black Sabbath. I received a greatest hits tape when I was like 10 or 11 from my grandmother for Christmas, and it changed my life. I love Black Sabbath. And of course, I love Ozzy Osbourne with Black Sabbath. Now, Ronnie James Dio was an awesome singer, and he did 2 albums with Black Sabbath and then he left. But what most people don't remember is that he did an album later on after coming back called Dehumanizer. Dehumanizer is an album I discovered about 3 or 4 months ago. It was on a rotation on one of the streaming apps that I listened to, and it's a great album. The very first song on there just kicks off. It's such a great album. If you have not listened to Dehumanizer and you kind of got stale on the Black Sabbath after Ronnie James Dio originally left, I understand. Give this an album to listen to. It's really good metal
from the 80s, the early 80s, that doesn't fall anywhere near hair metal. It's almost could be a Ronnie James Dio album by himself, but it has the great guitar playing of Tony Iommi. Geezer Butler was back, and then Vinny Appice was also in the band at that time. And this was a one-off album. I don't even think that they toured for this album, but it's such a good album. If you have not listened to this album, pop it in, listen to the title track. If you don't like it, then you can come spit on the screen when I'm talking to you.
Have you ever wondered how an album cover can be cool and cheesy at the same time? Well, here you go. This is a great album. It has all the elements of Black Sabbath that I love from when Ronnie James Dio was at the helm. Give this album a listen. Even if you just listen to the first half, you're not going to be sorry. This album will pretty much knock your socks off. Give it a try.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about one more album. One more rare gem that people probably already know about, but they have kind of a skewed opinion because of the band that it is. Now, it's the album New Tattoo by Motley Crue. Yeah, I know. This is a metal theme show, and I'm talking about Motley Crue, right? Other than their first two albums, they were nowhere near metal. But this is a great album, and it's a rock album. And it's so far out of league for what I normally like. That's why I wanted to bring it up. It's like cuddling up with an old friend. It's like a comfort. You know what I mean? I can't say that this should have been the follow-up to Dr. Feelgood, but it would have been a good album around that time, because the drummer on this album was the great late Randy Castillo, and I'm pretty sure that this was his last recording. It's a great album. It's kind of cheesy. There are some of the song topics are just kind of off, but I recommend listening to this. It's a great album. Give it a listen. It's a good classic Motley Crue album that didn't get hardly any attention when it was released. So don't hate me. And if you don't like this album, then you can throw your iPad or your phone or whatever it is device you're listening on and throw it up against the wall and break it. Feel free to do that. But give New Tattoo a try.
So this is the cover to New Tattoo. It's kind of cheesy, but it's not a bad album. As far as Motley Crue goes, it's musically sound, the drumming is great. They gotten rid of Tommy Lee for a while. Give it a listen. It's a good album. I promise you won't be upset, or you might be.
All right, thanks again for watching. This is my third episode of Cup Full of Metal. I'm relocating here soon, so it may be a little more extended time between this episode and my next one. I'm going to try to keep it up, but I'm relocating and moving. That such is life in the Army. But once I get to where I'm moving to, a wonderful, great state of Kansas, then I will put up a new video, hopefully every week or two. I don't always make it every week or two, but I definitely try. If you have any suggestions for what I should do for the next video, go ahead and put them in the comment. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you didn't enjoy it, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. At least it knows somebody's watching. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, I think every video should have a scary clown at the end terrorizing a little child. This just makes me happy. Also, don't forget, wear a mask. Stop spreading your germs, you filthy animals.